Hey guys, it's Kayri Cosplay here, and finally getting to do the Levi makeup tutorial that I promised. This is the second take. Anyway, I'm just going to start off here with some concealer. Some people start with foundation, but I've found that starting with concealer works well. I'm going under my eyes on any blemishes I may have or marks that I may have. In my case, I have a beauty mark on my chin, and I have a couple zits hanging around, which are very annoying. I don't get many of them, but when they do show up, they show up, and they're annoying. So, I make sure I really, especially under the eyes, I really want to make those creases vanish, even though this is Levi we're talking about. Anyway, my face is all nice and smooth, and I am now going to start with the foundation. And foundation is super important, guys. Don't forget your foundation. It will help your makeup stay on a lot better. Anyway, I put it all over my face, including my lips, and I am just going to blend everything in and blend it all together. And I don't particularly care where it ends up, I just want to make it nice and smooth and very even. But I'm not done yet. I'm going to add more. Usually I will do a couple of layers of this, however this time I'm only doing the one layer. And that's just a personal preference right now. So I go on my ears and under my chin, which will be important for developing the general facial structure. Now this, I choose to put it on my eyebrows as well to help make my eyebrows vanish. Some people also use glue and sticky stuff to help put the actual hairs down. I can't, I'm allergic to adhesive, and it will cause all sorts of problems for me, so I just don't bother to do that. I just pat it down. I have to make sure it's dry before doing anything with the eyebrows, but I just pat it down very lightly. I'm not too concerned about them. Oh, found something like makeup on my hands. I don't know. It's kind of weird sometimes. Anyway, my face now looks all pale and very pretty and totally awesome, ready to go. So I now take my brushes, and I have a lot of brushes. I got very lucky finding these. I found them at Shoppers Drug Mart last year, and I take my nude palette. You definitely want a nude palette. This brush, by the way, is my favorite brush. It's an angled brush, and it is absolutely wonderful. It has served me well. I'm going to start shaping Levi's face by contouring my face. And that's just a matter of taking a light brown like you saw there, and then I'm going through my cheeks, making a very funny fish face. And I'm not going to go too far down my face, because if I go too far down, as I've discovered, it makes you look like you got a beard, and it's off. I'm also going to do my temples, and I may add some in other parts of my face later on just to see if it gives more of an effect, but that's a personal choice. I take a little more of that, and now I'm going to go along the corners of my nose, along the ridge of it, and I'm going to narrow my nose. I've already got a very narrow nose. However, he's an anime character. Those things are ridiculously pointy. So I'm going to try to give myself a very narrow nose and make it nice and straight and smooth. I'm just going to take a little bit of the pale and then just highlight, and that just gives it an extra bit of a pop. A lot of these little details are more useful for photo sessions. Now what I'm doing with this is I took the angled brush again, and I took the darkest shade of brown that I have, and I am now going back over my cheeks where I'd already contoured. I want to create layers. I want to create depth. I'm not going to go again very far down my face. It's going to make it look ridiculous. Just a little bit, just to create more shape. I'm also going now under my neck, which is what the foundation was for earlier. This is going to make me look more masculine because men have very prominent necks. And even Levi, who's very small, he's got very sharp features. I want to make my face look as sharp as possible. I go down, try to create a bit of an Adam's apple, and I'm good to go. Now this is a small, soft brush, slightly pointy. Take the pale brown again, and now I'm going up along the crease of my eyelid. And this is especially good for Levi if you want to create a more natural look. Some people will use a black, a pure black, and it looks great on some people. For me, I find it looks too cartoony almost, and you want to, for me at least, I've found I always want to create a more natural look. Anyway, I take this very sharp, fine, tiny, very tight brush. I'm taking the black. This is where I actually start using the black, and I am now going to apply that to my eyebrows. And I'm going to apply it very thinly, and I'm going to build it up layer after layer after layer. Because if I rush it, it's not going to go well. And I've done both sides now, as you can see. I figured I'd speed through that. And this is the important detail, is giving that little extra bit of a crease there. Some people are already naturally born with it. I do not have it. But as you can see, I also am now taking the black and I'm going just a smidgen along the edges of my eyelids. Just the smidgen, just in the creases there. I'm not even going all the way up and around. I really want to make him look as natural as possible while still staying true to the character. So there, that's roughly what it's going to start to look like. I'm now starting to look more like the character. Now comes the fun part, the eyeliner. Some people, like me, use, I think I noticed that my eyebrows were a little uneven. I went back in later on and I fixed it up, as you'll see. But yeah, back to the eyeliner. I start 3/4 of the way through, and I start small, and I don't worry about making a mistake, because the nice thing is that if I start small, I can always go bigger and I can fix it up. Some people will use like a pen or a marker, or they'll use also a pencil as well. I don't use those things. I have tried and experimented with them. I'm very twitchy as it is. It took me forever just to learn how to use this. So I end up actually just using the brush. I've gotten very, very good with the brush. You don't have to use it, but this is what I've chosen to use. This is Sephora, by the way, and it's not the waterproof one, but it is waterproof. Oh man, this thing will not come off without a fight. In the background, you might hear my cat meowing. I do apologize. And so I make almost a bit of a cat's eye, speaking of the devil, and that is to accentuate the fact that he is an anime character, but I also do not want to overpower it and make him look like a woman. I want to keep that androgynous kind of feel to him, and when I have a bit of a cat's eye, it captures that effect, I believe. Depending on the role I've got for him, if I'm just doing typical Levi, then this is what I would most likely do. If I'm doing something more dramatic, like I did Vampire Levi on Halloween last year, and I definitely made him look more dramatic. I gave him more of a cat's eye. I definitely made... It just depends on what your comfort level is. I'm also going to go underneath my eye about halfway, and I'm not worrying if it's too thick or too thin. I usually try to go thin to thick. But if I don't, I'm not too worried about it. Like, I really don't get nitpicky about these things. Anyway, the most important thing is stay true to your features in your face. If you know something that works for you, please use it. These are just techniques that have worked for me. So, now that that is done, I'm going to take a little bit of mascara. I don't use a lot. I do not have any of the really voluptuous ones, and I am completely out of frame. Oh my gosh. I am sorry, people. I am terrible at filming. But I'm just taking a little bit of light mascara, and I'm just applying it, and that's just so that my eyelashes don't look out of place with all the makeup that's on there. But since, again, he's a male character, I try to keep him looking that way. I don't put a lot on. Now I'm just going to take my dark brown, and I'm just going to fix up anything along my nose. If there's anything I feel that I missed, I will go over and redo. Like I refixed up my eyebrow and made it more even, which was exactly what it called for. In this case, I didn't have to do too much because I've got this down. I've done this many times now. But, you know, it doesn't hurt. If you make a mistake, don't be afraid to go back over and fix it. What's impressive is that usually this takes me between half an hour and 45 minutes, but I got this video down to 9 minutes and 33 seconds. So yeah, now I get to put my wig on and become Levi. I usually have about 5 or 6 bobby pins in this thing. In this case, I only put in 3, and that's only because I keep losing them and I have to go get more. But yeah, you can see I look like Levi now, and the makeup was relatively simple and very, very easy to do. It's just a matter of being patient with yourself. Thank you very much, guys, for watching this video and for exploring my Facebook page, and I really hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye, guys.